Have you ever thought about using trading bots? I used Bitsgap in the last bull market and turned $1,000 into $50,000 within a 5-month period. I documented the whole process and put it in a playlist if you want to see that, along with other training videos and tutorials how to set bots up and make the most of the volatility of the crypto market. If you sign up with a link in the description, you'll get a 7 days free trial with no obligation to continue, and you can also use a demo account within Bitsgap so you don't have to risk your own capital. Bitsgap! Hello everybody, welcome back. Make a quick video I think on XRP. We're going to do the live stream tonight if anyone wants to join up for that. It's Patreon basically, links in the description below. Otherwise, let's get started. So we'll start off with the Dixie. We are going to talk about XRP. We'll save the best till last. It's all part of the same recipe basically. So what we're seeing is the rejection still taking place on the Dixie, a move up into 200 exponential, closing below 200 simple. This is all basically part of death cross retest. It doesn't necessarily mean a massive breakdown for Dixie. Dixie is moving because of all kinds of things going on globally, but also to do with the chart clearly, because the chart has been responded to appropriately. So, there is technical analysis being applied over here, but there's also geopolitics and all kinds of other stuff. So, what we are seeing is the rejection on this area, which is a death cross retest, which would be a short the dollar from here. And you would really, to be honest with you, only really want to be fair, short it a little tiny piece down to this 10 exponential, which has held us for quite a while as well. So, basically what we're seeing on the Dixie is an ascending triangle formation between those two moving averages on the daily, and this is a bullish formation, to be honest. That's basically what this suggests, is that we will come back down, we will be supported, we will move up, and even though this is a particularly nasty place to expect a breakout from, excuse me, if you were bearish, for instance, because this is again a death cross, the formation itself does favour a breakout, so just bear that in mind. It's bearish, however I would expect, and I do expect this to break out, but until we see a breakout of this formation one way or another, it's naive to try and call a particular continuation from this exact area. But if I had to, I would probably say that it's more likely to break out, but it would be silly for me to say that that's a call, because we're right in the middle of a formation which is known to be more bullish than bearish. So that's the Dixie for you. All right, let's move over to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin had a decent pullback yesterday, which is nice. We're getting closer and closer to that first major target on Bitcoin, which is around about the $38,000 zone, which is where I start to get interested again on things. That does not mean at all that we can't see a bit of a move on today's price action. Maybe a move back up to the area which was once lost, the 43,000. The reason I say that is based on the 4 hour, we've got plenty of bullish divergence. We've got 1, 2, 3 drives of this now. We often find ourselves retesting death crosses, as you see on the Dixie at the moment, just as you would expect to see retests of golden crosses, as you see on pretty much everything. And that's where you get the major continuation from. So yeah, golden cross over here, a bit messy to be honest with you, but we did retest it. But for the most part, we do retest them and move on. So a $43,000 Bitcoin maybe by the end of today or over the weekend, absolutely completely plausible on the shorter term time frames. Also got bullish divergence on the RSI, so you only really need a single drive of that for that to kick in. But I hear you say, hang on a minute, you sound quite positive and bullish about this. Are you going to play it? No, I'm not. Like I said yesterday, on the potential move for Ethereum, there was a potential move brewing. I measured it. It was about a move of maybe $100. Right, that's nothing, is it? We don't really want to trade small little moves like that. Although there was one present on the chart as we were coming down to retest that 50 exponential moving average, it wasn't good enough. We broke down, and so again, as I keep saying, the risk to reward is just not good enough across the board for more or less anything at the moment, to be honest with you. So the market might be shifting into a consolidation in general, not just for crypto, but for stocks as well. And so, yeah, the risk to reward does not favour major positions at this level. If you were to focus on Ethereum, the next major zone really is going to be down here, which is a 200 exponential on a 4 hourly, 2,370, give or take. I think that would be worthy of a shot, but am I going to take it? No. I stick to my main analysis. You know, I exited basically within 15 minutes of the top. I'm looking for the major swings. I'm not looking for the small trades. If something very, very presentable appears on any of these charts, I will take the trade. But as I keep saying, week after week, you know, exiting around this area, I was selling all through December, and then I've basically got out of every single position, whether it was in profit or not, as we hit the main area of resistance. As explained, that was the plan, and the plan now it would be to wait and see if we get a much deeper, longer, more sustained pullback consolidation in the market, and you start to buy back at significant lows, not little lows, bigger lows. But there will be some things that might change for me, and that would be possible rejection on the Dixie, continuation down on the Dixie. Oh, yeah, I suppose reclaiming of certain areas on charts, whether it's Ethereum, Bitcoin, or Total 2. There's a whole range of things that would inspire me once again to go bullish, but until then, my main analysis still applies. Right, so for the moment you've all been waiting for, let's have a look at XRP. So, as you all know, I'm a big hodler of XRP. I've been for many years, actually. First time I bought XRP, this is my first major taste in crypto. I bought it around 3 cents. So, you know, I've been around, me and XRP got a long history together, you know, and I often find the chart relatively easy to trade. It follows a few simple rules based around a daily 200 exponential, like most things do, but this time around it's changed a little. It's not quite the same. Now, we've been subject to a lot of, I suppose, external price action outside of the chart. This one, for instance, Boosh, SEC lawsuit, and then this one here, someone said that, that BlackRock were filing for an ETF on XRP, right? Fair enough, okay. So these sort of things, they wreck the chart in a way. They break it, whether it's for the good or for the bad. And you know, when it comes to moving averages and just any indicators based around price, volume, and time, and when you get a big flow of money or in or out of a chart, it has repercussions for the technical analysis afterwards, most of the time. So what we've got here for XRP is going down below all major moving averages on the daily. Now, normally I would say that you should think about buying XRP while being above these. That's how it's always been in the past when you're in bull mode. You know, this is before the chart was particularly sort of messed with, for instance. Out of the bear market, going into bull mode, 200 exponential, 200 simple, exponential simple, big move up. Then obviously, you know, SEC, pump group. So, XRP's chart has been played with for quite a while, but for the most part, you know, that is always the rule. And it started off the rule over here. So breaking out of descending triangle, bear market, consolidation over, move up, 200 exponential, 200 simple, up, exponential, big move up. And then, obviously, that resulted in a larger move down, a nice big move up, then a larger move down. So it's kind of messed up on the daily. The daily is not... It's not as fluent as it should be, which is why I keep on saying, like, I'm a big believer that XRP is going to go on to make new all-time highs, but this cycle, within the next couple of years, but finding that 100x leveraged position is going to be very difficult when the chart has been played with and messed around with forces outside of the chart. Hard to get a position in it. But if we take ourselves to a 3-day, where, you know, the further out you go on the higher term time frames, the more settled the chart starts to look, right? You look at this on a 5-minute, it's all over the place. You know, a 1 minute, all over the place. 15-minute, all over the place. Hourly, all over the place. Even a daily is kind of all over the place. But once you start standing back a little bit further, going to a 3-day to start with, then there is a little bit more rhythm going on here, just a little bit, and it still presents a bullish case. From exactly where we are right now, which is about 54.40, to potentially, sorry, that's my 3-year-old in the background. Hey, Tiggs, I'm trying to work over here, kid. Right, so yeah, we pull back into this area. There's a potential area for support. what do we believe on Bitcoin and Ethereum? Do you think there's further to go? I do. So I'm finding it hard to imagine that this is any significant low for XRP. But if we have a look at this is your 200 simple moving average. And look, we are above that, and we're above this. Once you make a case for being bullish, you've got to be above these major supports, right? These major moving averages. You have to be above them to maintain any kind of bullish rhythm on the chart. And we are. So the support down here on the 3-day is back down to like 47 cents, right? So that's a fair old drop from where we're at right now. And that would be a drop of around 15% and still maintain its bullish position, right? The upside on XRP, maybe not in the short term, but on the long term, from where we're at right now to basically our previous local high, let's forget the all-time high, we're talking a 268% move, right? So I'm talking long term here. This is like a long-term risk to reward type vibe. So if we were to make a bid here, for a bit of a hopium but relatively educated guess that a low has formed, not the low, but like a low, and back up to our previous high is about 267. Down to the next area is roughly around 15%. So that is really good risk to reward over the long period of time. And when I say long period of time, I'm talking like 18 months, 24 months, right? Like if you were presenting that to somebody for, risk to reward, they'd be like, whoa, that is pretty good. Worst case scenario is that we come down scraping all these lows, dipping down below 30 again, which I find hard to imagine, but it could easily happen, let's face it. So that is a risk of 46% obviously, and again, this is only up to the local high, 46% versus 260%, give or take. Still pretty good risk to reward, right? What we can also do, and again, this might look like wrecked city to most, but it's not, is that if you had the choice of buying Bitcoin or XRP, and you were to look at this chart, which is the Bitcoin XRP paired, so what we see is a support which is formed at the previous almost all-time low support, and we have had a reaction from it. Again, this is just 3-day, but this is giving you an idea of where we are. So there has been a reaction here. There might not be the reaction, but there has been a reaction. Now the next low forming after this is going to be down into the depths down here, so quite a significant drop, right? And this could easily happen, but every time we've come down to these supports, whether it's this one, which is a major one, you have big moves up, all the way down here, big moves up, all the way down here, little move down, big move up, all the way here, big move up. Or, if you're lucky, you get to go down into these areas and go big move up, even if it's just from where we are right now, or that support, back up to this area here. That's doubling the amount that you would have got from Bitcoin. So from a risk to reward perspective on the XRP Bitcoin chart, it still looks enticing, right? It's not as bad as it might appear on face value. I actually do favour this chart. And, I've got obviously loads of money on the sidelines right now. But, if I was forced to deploy this into any crypto across the board, any crypto whatsoever, and that I could feel relatively safe and secure and that would outperform Bitcoin, it would be XRP. It would be. There's loads of other altcoins that I like, you know that I like loads of them. I hodl quite a few, but at this exact level, looking forward, what altcoin is more or less guaranteed to outperform Bitcoin from today until the end of the cycle? It looks very much like it's going to be XRP. It doesn't mean that it can't sustain some further downside until it starts to pick itself back up again. But what I am saying is that if it was a gun to my head, this is the time-old analogy I always try and present to people, especially on the Patreon. If there was a gun to my head and I had to make a trade, not allowed to be in cash anymore, what am I going to do? I would say, fine, I'll take the plunge. I'll buy every XRP that I can afford to buy. This level is as good as any, with a risk to reward of 40% downside before it turns up and goes up to the moon, to what was it, 260%, just up to its previous local high. That's not bad, right? I know some people will go 260% is rubbish, man. Hang on a minute, that's over 100% a year. Where else are you looking to get those sort of gains? Nowhere. And the good thing about XRP is that it's pretty liquid. So, you know, and again, I'm not saying I'm like the ultimate super boss or anything like that, but if you're trading spot and you want to trade lots of cash, right? If you've got deeper pockets, you do need a trading pair which is pretty liquid, so you can get in and out. And even today, and XRP has been lame for a little while, even today it's been trading at 189 million in a 24-hour period on Binance alone. That's pretty sweet. There was times over the years that Bitcoin wasn't even trading at that kind of volume. So yeah, it suits me down to the ground in pretty much every way to say that actually from a risk to reward perspective, and also an attractive trading pair for large amounts of cash. Let's face it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be modest here, but large amounts of cash. This is where it can go in and out from here. Anyway, it's pretty much all there is to say. But what we'll finish on will be a weekly, because again, when you zoom out, you get a bigger picture. This presents that we had 47, didn't we, on the 3-day? We've got 50 cents here on the weekly, which is a 200 exponential. Now, the 200 exponential has been pretty relevant on this weekly here, and it's not a nothing. It's definitely something, and we're still above it. And not only that, we're golden crossed for the first time ever in this entire history. So we've never really had this kind of setup before. So golden crosses and divergences of golden crosses are bullish, right? They're a bullish setup. You would expect them to continue on. So we got our golden cross around here. We retested it, you know, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times recently. Now, if we get to retest it a 5th time, which is again 50 cents, which is just a little bit above that 47 cents on the 3-day, I think it might be time to buy, right? Because 50 cents. It might not be the low. It absolutely might not be the low. I'm just putting it out to you now, because there is a good chance that Bitcoin consolidates not down to 38, but continues to consolidate further down from there, maybe even as low as 28. So obviously you can only imagine what would happen to altcoins and XRP as a result of that. It doesn't really matter where your 200 exponential is anymore, because the dominant player in the market is pulling back to the max, and that can happen easily. But you know, if we were to focus on XRP's chart, 50 cents, 47 cents is worthy of a bid, with the prospect of it moving up to previous all-time highs and then beyond. And we're only measuring it up to its local high, its previous local high. Remember that, when it was under the scrutiny of the SEC, and yeah, so you know, previous all-time highs around $3.40. If we start to surpass that, you know, once you break an all-time high, especially on something like XRP, which is heavily burdened with sell orders at major resistances, once you go to a blue sky breakout with this kind of volume and more, it wouldn't take much at all to see it starting to double again. So we're talking $7, double again, $14. And this is going to sound like major hopium, but that's the nature of it. Once there's no real sell walls above you, and you know, on a chart like XRP, it's full of sell walls, because there's lots of established areas of resistance. This is how we're able to trade it so appropriately. Even when this move happened, I was saying that we can move into 60 all the way up to 90, which is where the main portion of this is why this big thing is here. This is the giant resistance zone, huge resistance zone, massive. It's like 70% resistance zone. So look, this is the area. Start to sell at 60, finish selling at 90. That's the area. We are aware of the sell walls, but once they're all gone, and I mean it, once they're all gone, up to the moon, up to the absolute moon. Just because it's like a top cap coin does not mean that you can't see it really start to explode. Remember, the market cap of crypto is not the same as a market cap of like a company. You know, when you look at the market cap of something like Apple, you go, oh well, 3 trillion or whatever it is. Yeah, that's sustainable. They've got revenue, they've got all kinds of stuff coming into, yeah, they've got all kinds of things that create that. Not just, you know, share prices or whatever. It's all kinds of things that give them that that market cap. When it comes to crypto, the market cap goes up and down like a bloody yo-yo, right? It's not the same. So yes, on paper you might see that XRP has a market cap of 150 billion quadrillion, but you know, you go back and revisit it like a couple of months later and it'll be like half a cent. You know, that's the nature of crypto. It's not the same. It's not the same. So yes, the market cap will be extraordinarily high if and when it moves up to $14 or something like that. But that doesn't mean that it can't happen. That is just a reference of what the market cap technically is, given the price of what the coins are at the time. But we all know that as soon as those coins get sold, the market cap will just decrease just as fast as it went up. So the market cap is a bit of a nothing burger, really. I always see these people talking about this.
It would be completely unachievable to see what the market cap of XRP would get to this level. It's absolutely unachievable.
Well, yes, it technically is unachievable in real life, but on paper, it's not unachievable. It's absolutely plausible. And it's the sort of thing that I would imagine we will see at some point. I'm not saying we're going to go to $14. I'm just presenting something to you, just I suppose tune into reality just for a brief moment. That crypto is not the same as everything else, and really, when we're talking about red and green candles, it really is a matter of who is willing to pay more for the token than who is willing to sell for less than the market price of the token. That's what creates the red and the green. That's all it is. It's just an imbalance of market orders. Who wants to buy it for more than it's worth? Green goes up. Who wants to sell it for less than it's worth? Red goes down. That's basically all that it is. That's it. That's it. That's the nature of it. So the idea of market caps and blah blah blahs kind of doesn't particularly bother me. Of course, I would not expect XRP to sustain and live at $14 per coin, but could it get there? Absolutely it could. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Hopefully that is in some way insightful, useful to you. Remember, the long game on this. This is the long game. And the long game might as well begin here, but for me, I've got a view on the market which presents further downside. So I would be interested in picking some up around 50 cents and 47 cents, given the supports there. And if Bitcoin comes down to 28,000, I'll probably buy some more. And you don't hear me say that. I don't normally buy XRP. I've got so much of it. I trade it with coin futures. I've accumulated so much of it over the years just through using derivatives, but you know, I probably would buy some more for the long term because I don't see it as a threatening coin. I see it as something that is surprisingly relatively stable and has a pretty good chance of achieving a new all-time high. So why wouldn't you buy it? You know, why wouldn't you buy it? Right, thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.